Episode of Statford Bridge Chelsea by the Numbers live stream. We're here. I didn't stream last weekend. We're streaming today. We're not streaming next weekend, so we're gonna go a little long. Chelsea beat Wrexham 4-2, FA Cup round of 16. They are into the quarterfinal. A thing I was reflecting on this morning is that Chelsea have gotten very fortunate with their cup draws this year. We've got Lincoln and so many Charlton, Hull, so many Cardiff, so many lower division games, which has been quite fortunate for us, and it has made rotation quite a bit easier. We're going to talk about this game. We're going to talk about some of the coverage of this game. And then we're going to talk a lot about PSG, and we'll go somewhere in between. That's quite amusing. Does say all these cup games have been away, which sucks, which is true. That is kind of the unfortunate downside here. So Chelsea play Wrexham away and line up with what I can only describe as perhaps the most cowardly 11 that has been played at Chelsea in quite some time, which is really saying something. A back five of 5 players that you could genuinely describe as center backs, 2 defensive midfielders, 2 wingers, and a 9. And I will say to you, the team played exactly like that. It was very difficult to progress the ball. And also, these are 2, legit wingers, all the way wide wingers. Garnacho less so, but they're not, pocket 10s receiving in between lines. And Delap is not exactly a phenomenal possession player, is how I will describe him. So you end up with this, just mishmash disaster, cannot move the ball forward. You have Achimpong and Hatta receiving, facing their own goal, jammed on the sideline all the time. And I'm like, oh boy. So just as a setup, didn't work. Now, I understand there's not exactly a wealth of attacking rotation options in the first team squad. But this is why I say it's cowardly. Start one of Derry and Kavuma McQueen. Why not? Play Neto as a 10 and start Kavuma McQueen as your right winger or as your left winger or whatever. Start one of the kids. Start Keanu Dyer as a third midfielder. This is why I say it's cowardly. You're playing a team below you. Yeah, it's an 11 of fit players, like Mupstrom says here. But there's, I don't know, don't play Tosin and play another attacker or play another midfielder, and everything makes more sense. And then we don't have to watch Tosin play. That's the trade-off here. So didn't like the setup. Tactically, whatever. This felt very Conference League B team rotation game where it's go out there, get your minutes, stay fit. That's what it was, clearly. And from there, I don't know. I don't have very many takeaways. I think a couple things to talk about. One, Sanchez is now very clearly the backup goalkeeper and Jorgensen is the starter. I know he says, yeah, I'm rotating and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. It seems like you have made your decision after the Arsenal game that it's Jorgensen's job now. So we'll see how that goes. I think Sanchez has had a very good year. I think he has also done a bunch of dumb stuff recently. I tweeted, where is it? Sanchez has gotten particularly involved in trying to clear space for himself on corners. And I hate it, to be honest. Just focus on dealing with the cross. Let the other guys clear space for you, because you're such a good cross taker. You just deal with the ball. Everybody else will deal with everything else. So I hate that, and it was a problem against Arsenal. It has kind of continuously been a problem, and we'll see. And I don't know. I think that's going to be an interesting one to see how it plays out. Jorgensen was good. Again, he was fine against Villa. He didn't have much to do. There were some juicy rebounds that were like, you got real lucky with that one. There's a 1v1 where he goes for like the glove save, like he's a hockey goalie. And then there's a Morgan Rogers one with a terrible rebound that he gets very lucky, spins back to him. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I don't think he's meaningfully better than Sanchez in possession. So I look at the PSG press. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And Sanchez is like a way better long passer than Jorgensen. Like Jorgensen might be a better short passer, but Sanchez is much better like playing balls into depth, which was a real thing against PSG last year. So we'll see how that goes. Um, Lavia I thought was horrific because he's not a good footballer. Tosin was his usual self, like the worst player on the field, like he is every time he plays. Um, I thought Josh was really poor before the goal, but playing him as a wingback, I think, is just completely nonsensical. Like he's much better with the game in front of him, um, but like a pretty dumb way to set up. Um, Garnacho was good, scores a goal. The other goal is like blocked on the line and is an own goal, but could be like it should be counted as an assist or whatever you want for him. And I thought Delap was actually okay. Like given he was just getting like nukes played at him while he's getting hammered by three center backs with nobody near him, I thought he was all right. From the subs, Guiu came on very poor, but like also hasn't played in whatever 3 months. Like I don't know. Cucurella came on for fitness. Asugo came on and ended up getting 60 minutes because of what goes to extra time, which I thought was interesting. Definitely more than they were planning to play him. I didn't think he looked great. I mean, like let's think about what Asugo is for a second. He is a backup midfielder option who is supposed to do the things Caicedo does. Predominantly ball winning, a little bit of forward passing, mostly retention passing. And like he kind of does what it says on the tin. Like he does run around and kick people, and he does mostly keep the ball. His assist for the winner was like a really, really good passer. Was a really good cross to the back post. What I would say though is I thought he looked very unfit, which is okay, right? Like he hasn't played in 6 months. That's totally reasonable. I have no qualms with that. Um, so like given the circumstances, totally fine. I don't think I would go as far as Craig Hack here and say he was good. He was fine. You're playing a team below you. He was fine, given returning from injury, blah, 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 blah. I will say it is comical how similarly he moves to Caicedo. Like identical movement. He runs the same. He passes the ball the same. He has the same like kind of movement thing going on, like all of the above. It's hilarious how similarly they move. Um, so we'll see. Um, and then Joao Pedro comes on and scores the fourth. Derry came on and like didn't really do much, like whatever. So it is what it is. I don't have much else on the game specifically. What I do have is like I don't really get the VAR objections from this game. Um, the red card for Dobson was like pretty clearly a red card. I see how the referee has missed it in real time from where he's standing, but it's pretty clearly a red card. Like it's very forceful, it's really high, and like he catches him full on. Like there's when we think about the considerations for serious foul play, like the force was excessive, the point of contact was high, blah 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 blah. Everybody wants me to smash Neto is very bad because he's not a good footballer, but that's what it is. It's actually I don't know. It's very funny to it's very funny to think about Neto because he has had, like, for him, a pretty good year. Like, most goals of his career, most goals and assists of his career. Per 90, it's not, but like he's had a productive year by his standards. The underlyings are worse. Um, but like if you include the Club World Cup, he's at 18 and in 37, right? Like he's about 50-50, which is good for someone who gives you like solid defensive output. It's just there's not um yeah, like it's just the underlyings aren't there, so it's unlikely he's going to do this again. It would be very like smart to move on from him this summer and like cash in on, oh look, he just had the best season of his career. And again, like what's funny about this? So Neto in the league, 9 in 22, right? 9 in 22 90s. But if we go and look, where are the goals and assists coming from? Hat-trick against Hull, and then he scores West Ham, Forest, Wolves, Burnley, Leeds, Cardiff, Charlton. Terrible, like all the worst teams, right? And then in the assist side, Forest, Sunderland, Everton, okay, Arsenal, okay, Burnley, all terrible teams. No criticism of who he is scoring against. But you listen to people talk about Garnacho like he's scoring against the Special Olympics team. Like, yes, it is true that a lot of Garnacho's output has come against in cup games, right? Like Cardiff, but also Arsenal, Sunderland, Wrexham, Karabag. Yeah, absolutely correct, right? Wolves, but Bournemouth, but Villa. Like, it's who he's played against. I don't know. Like, he's done it in half of the minutes. So it's like, I don't know. I can't be. He has 13 goals and assists in, I don't know, 2090s or something. So it is what it is. But yeah, so there's the red card. And then there's the VAR offside, which is like, it's just offside. I don't know. Like, that's the rule. He's offside. Do I think so in MLS? So in MLS, the way VAR for offsides work is different than the way VAR works for offsides in Europe. Offside decisions in Europe are a factual decision. Okay? A factual decision, right? So like if the player is off by their toenail, they are off by their toenail. In MLS, they have put offside under the same guise of clear and obvious. They have cameras strategically set up for specific spots on the field. So, like, they have one at the halfway line, they have one on the edge of the penalty area. But if you have all these offsides that are like here, like 35 yards from goal, but it's like an inch offside and the referee gives it on, and MLS, they just call it on because they're like, we're not going to sit here for 10 minutes and like draw the lines and be like, maybe, when it's like it's 40 yards from goal. So they have it in the box and they have it at the halfway line. But other than that, they're like, I don't know, it's close. Whatever the ref said is fine. Which I think is the correct way to approach offside decisions. The problem with the Wrexham one is like it wasn't that close. I don't know. It would have gotten given in MLS, even with their like it's a pretty clear and obvious. So I thought that was interesting. Now, one of the things that came out of this from our dear friend Simon Johnson, who might be my most detested football writer, comes out, why can't Chelsea control football matches? I have not read this yet, so we're going to read it together live. But what I'm going to say as I read this, because I saw this headline and I said, I think this is going to be a fun thing that people are going to like. Did we not just spend a year and a half criticizing Enzo Maresca's obsession with trying to control games? Because, I mean, like, yeah, you all wanted less control. You wanted less control, more up and down. That's what you wanted. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just very funny to me to be like, why aren't they controlling games? And then have spent 9 months being like, well, this control thing, like, I just like every single time these people speak, I just don't understand how they've worked in football for 20, 25 years. Like I truly don't understand it. So that's there. Let's um let's talk about PSG. So Chelsea play PSG in the Champions League. Annoyingly, in between those, Chelsea have Newcastle in the league. I don't know why FotMob is not showing me. Why are you doing this? There you go. Annoyingly, in between these Chelsea games, they have Newcastle in the league, which is like a real bee in the bonnet because that's a hard game. At least it's at home. It's like not the worst thing in the world. Let's talk about the lineup. Let's talk about PSG. Let's talk about what it looks like. Let's talk about PSG first. So PSG this year are top of Liga, but it's close. Mostly because they lost to Monaco this weekend. They've actually been second for like pretty long spells. Their expected goal difference is very good. Lens are like really coming out of nowhere with like a super hot season for them. But like PSG are a plus 30 through 30-ish games. Last year they were a plus 64. This is not the same PSG team as last year. Now, some of that is probably a little bit of like resting on laurels, right? Where they won the Champions League, they're one of the best teams in the world. Like maybe they're taking a beat. The other half of this, if you look at their year, is they've had the same thing that Chelsea have had coming off of the Club World Cup, where they have gotten absolutely ragdolled by injuries. Muscle injury to Kavicha. So like Club World Cup, injury for Dembele, injury for Barcola. Coming out of the Club World Cup, Mayula, Kvara, Marco Fabian. Dembele, Due, Kang and Lee, Kvara, Beraldo, Neves, Barcola, Fabian, Marquinhos, Kvara, Vitinha. Muscle, 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 all muscles. They have gotten ragdolled um, coming out of the Club World Cup in a similar way that Chelsea have actually not been that bad injury wise. We've been okay, but in a similar way that Chelsea have struggled physically coming out of it. They are mostly fit now. Joao Neves is not expected to play on Wednesday. Dembele came back to play this weekend. Don't know about Fabian. He is like close, is what the reporting was. So you have this weird thing where PSG are like definitely worse than they were last year by underlying performance so far this season. They are somewhat diminished based on their squad of guys. Even if you look at like the Champions League, um, if you look at the Champions League and look at, um, let's just go here, the table. If you look at their expected goal difference, like it's high, but they're not like the best team high. You know what I mean? And some of that is from like just absolutely peppering a few teams in there. So I think you look at it and you're like, huh, okay, that's pretty interesting. So I suspect that you will see Chelsea try to play them the same way, given all of this. I think the lineup that Rossinier chose for Wrexham very much leans that that's what they're going to do, right? Is that they're going to look to play a very similar lineup to how they played them in the Club World Cup, that is. So I suspect you will see something that looks like this. Gusto at right back, Fofana, Chalobah, Cucurella, James, Caicedo, Palmer is the winger, Fernandes 10, Neto left, Joao Pedro's the 9. This is how I suspect they will line up. And Jorgensen in goal. I think Jorgensen starts based on what is going on. I have no problem going back to the well of the thing that you know worked. Chelsea were very good in that game. They played great. They finished quite well. All of the above. You're happy with it. The only difference, right, is Fofana for Colwill, but otherwise it's the same. I'm fine with this. Now, and like there are a couple things to be mindful of, right? And like we'll talk about them. I have no problem going back to the well, particularly for the first leg, and saying, let's see what happens. Okay? You still have the second leg at home. You can figure it out. No problem. Now, here are the things that I suspect are important. Neto is going to start, and he's going to play on the left to track Hakimi. That's going to be the thing. That's why he's going to be there. Garnacho's not going to do it. There is a chance that we see Estevao start there explicitly to get behind Hakimi and attack the space behind Hakimi. I don't know if it's super likely given he hasn't played yet with the hamstring thing. I would suspect it'll be Neto at the track. On the flip side, you have Nuno Mendes, who is going to come inside. He's going to do all of the same Cucurella midfieldy things. This was what Chelsea got at last year, was Palmer would come inside, he would go, and then Gusto would fly and would attack him behind, the way Chelsea did against Aston Villa. I think the Villa match is a very good facsimile for what Chelsea are going to try and do against PSG. That was like the thing. I think you will see it look very man-marky. The thing to be mindful of with this is that PSG are very like rotation heavy. However, if we go look at PSG, because João Neves is not fit, you're getting like significantly more lightweight midfields. Whether that is, and because Fabian is also out, right? So you are getting significantly more lightweight midfields. Like Dro, who they just signed from Barcelona, Vitinha, Warren Zaire-Emery is a suicide midfield. If they play that against us, we'll steamroll. Because Caicedo and Enzo will take their lunch money. But like pretty clearly they left some juice on this. Like Marquinhos isn't, but whatever, so on. So I think you will see Chelsea set up to play the same way. Is the long and the short of this. Now, to me, the two places where I think this game hangs is our winger there versus their fullback on both sides. How does Palmer manage with Nuno Mendes when like clearly he is not physically in the shape he was in the summer? How does Neto track Hakimi versus getting at him the other way? Like, I suspect Neto will lose that. That is number one. Number two to me is that the reality is in possession, Fofana and Chalobah is a significantly worse pairing to play through what is still a very strong press without Colwill at left center back. Like that to me is a real thing of I love Chalobah. I think he's amazing. We all in this chat mostly like Chalobah. I have concerns about his ability to manage a really aggressive press on the left as a not lefty. If Badiashile was not terrible against Wrexham, not terrible, he wasn't terrible. If Badiashile had not been very not good the last couple times he's played, there's a real part of me that like can almost get there. I can almost get there, but not quite. So that I think is particularly interesting to me. How do Chelsea play through pressure? Because the build-up under Rosenior has been mixed, I will say. Like, if you want to get real weird, if you want to get so weird, I wouldn't even hate James left center back in a 4. And you play Andre and Caicedo in midfield. Wouldn't even hate it. Which would get real weird. I don't think we'd ever see something like that, but like weirder things have happened. So I think that's interesting. Those are the places that I think are like a battleground for this. And I don't know. Panos says lowest of keys think that because of this we have to play Hato instead of Cucurella because he's a plus passer and better at left center back. Yeah, I mean, I will be very curious to see how skewed into a 3 it is. Right? Like you can convince me it's going to end up like this, and having Cucurella or Hato there is really valuable, and particularly like Hato instead of Cucurella. It's possible. And I think the fact that they played exactly 60 minutes each is a real coin toss on like who it's going to be. I don't know. My guess is he'll go Cucurella from like a safety familiarity perspective, but it definitely could be either. I don't know. One thing that I haven't looked at yet, and I'd like to see under Rosenior how their matches against PSG went. Because in my memory, they played them pretty good. He was here. So I want before that. Let's see. When's their PSG game? Because this I haven't looked at yet. So we have a 3-3 that's without the penalty basically even. Right? Unless there's a missed penalty by them in there. Pretty even. Yeah, this was the Panicelli game where he kind of goes crazy. So like back 3, but they played back 3s much more. I'd be curious. I should really go back and watch. I didn't go back and watch. But I'd be pretty curious to see what these look like. Because I think there's probably some info there. And then what else? What's the other one? Let's go. There's this season, the 3-3. What about last season? Last season beat PSG 2-1. Fluked it a little bit. Sorry, left center back. I wonder if can we not watch the highlights now? Let's see it. Let's try it. Let's see if we get let's see if we get got by Liga. We probably will. So if the stream goes down, I will close the stream and we'll go again.
By Paris Saint-Germain.
Okay, how do I want to do the smaller view. Yeah, here we go.
Paris Saint-Germain,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we get got. I hope not, but why not? I feel like I watched the highlights before, but I don't remember. I think one of the things that is definitely going to be the case, whether it's like an actual back 5 or it just looks like a back 5 or what, is the um is very much the case that like Chelsea are going to defend as a 5 a lot, and it's going to be very man to man to manage the 5. Uh, Elliot Sherman says Chevalier still injured. No, he's not. Safonov has just won the job. Safonov has legitimately just won the job because I think Chevalier was on the bench. Yeah, he is. So it is. I think it's going to be Safonov. Also, a really funny Safonov reference. I sometimes when I go to the gym, I go on the elliptical and I just like find like a 25-minute YouTube compilation of something to watch while I'm on the elliptical. And Elliot Sherman says, "Whoa, interesting." Oh, that Safonov has won the job. And so I watched the 2021 Champions League run, the highlights of all the games in a row. It was like a 30-minute video going through it. And and what I realized is we played Krasnodar in that run, and Krasnodar's goalkeeper for that run was Matvey Safonov, and he was terrible. He saved the penalty, but he also let in like a really terrible goal to Hudson Odoi, which I thought was impressed, pretty aggressive. If you look at like if you look at the like 2 advanced probabilities, right? So this is last 16. That is very surprising. That Opta has a slightly favored 52-48. I am pretty I don't think the betting markets definitely don't agree. League 2 advance probability. Let's see what FanDuel has. Champions League. No. So PSG slightly favored. It's close though. What's Yeah, can you guys tell that I'm like bad at doing the math on American odds to probabilities in my head? It's like 57-43 minus, it's like 55-45 when you take out the VIG. Is what the markets have it. Opta have it 52-48. Interesting. Let's see, what are some people saying here? Lord Flack is just thinking it'll be very fun, but will narrowly go out. Roshan, one thing I like about this game is PSG aren't great on set pieces. Hopefully we don't concede. Yeah, this I think is a huge edge for Chelsea. And if you look at the Champions League table, the English teams destroyed people on set pieces. Liverpool, Arsenal, and Newcastle all top 3. Chelsea 9th, Spurs 10th, City 7th. Like they smushed teams on set pieces. All the English teams did. And if you look at Europa League, it's the same, and Conference League, it's the same. Like that, I think, is a huge edge. Like if you told me we scored 3 set pieces across the 2 legs, I'd totally believe you. Just into the near post every time. And there is very low risk on the other end because PSG aren't great on attacking corners. Elliot Sherman says, I think Uncle Tosin gets in the game and costs us. If Tosin plays in either tie, I will resign. Opta's model sucks and isn't worth the bandwidth. It's not a good model in terms of like, it's worse than just looking at betting probabilities, but it's there. So, and it's in a nicely formatted viewable table, so it's fine to talk about. GCAP says less worried than the Club World Cup game. The Club World Cup game, I didn't really care whether I cared, but not. It was the Club World Cup. Who cares? I care more about this. Georgian Yaganya and Yangaya says, I think their press versus Chaloba and Fofana is going to embarrass us. Also a bit scared of the counters. Yeah, we talked about the press. That I think how Chelsea set themselves up in the build-up is really important across the tie. Julian Castillo 7309 says, yeah, Newcastle scares me more. We tend to show up in the big games because Craig McCorkle says he feels really confident. I am... If there is a schedule loss as much as anything, it is that Newcastle game in between that we just get steamrolled. But who knows? They play Barcelona either side of it, so you never know. Elliot Sherman, I'd be more confident if we weren't rolling with Jorgensen. A lot of Jorgensen scares. We will see. AP says, what are your thoughts on the ITK rumors that we suck at defending set pieces because Cueva's expertise is on attacking set pieces, so now Racinior's taken over defensive? I mean, what I would say to that is I don't think that's a real thing. Look, if we go to the Premier League, so Chelsea set pieces were a lot better last season on both ends. If we go look at Brentford under Cueva, Brentford were very plus in all phases of set pieces, attacking and defending. They were very good. If I go to the season before that, a little bit higher, pretty good. This is not. And then I actually don't remember if he was with them this season. And a little bit worse. I don't think that's really a thing. That there are definitely people who prefer one side of the ball or the other. The point that I would make more than anything is that attacking set pieces, right? It's very easy to convince. It's not very easy. It's easier to convince small, technical, whatever players to do the things you need them to do on attacking set pieces because they might score, right? So it is very easy, or it's much easier to tell Alejandro Garnacho, I need you to make this run to loop to the back post because if you do it, you might get a tap in. Than it is to tell him, I need you to track this runner at the back post, and you have to do it every single time, even if the ball doesn't come or doesn't look like it's coming, even though you want to gamble to come the other way, because there's one time it's going to come, and if they don't go, he's going to score. Because if you look at how Chelsea have gotten murdered on set pieces this year, it hasn't been the volume of chances. It's that when they break down on set pieces, they break down in a spectacular fashion. That they give up empty goal tap-ins unopposed. That has been more the problem than the volume of shots that they are conceding on set pieces. And I mean, why are Barnsley here? That's interesting. I wonder if they have more data on the back end than they're showing here. That's weird. I'd never noticed that before. But yeah, so that is one half of it. The other half of it is that defending set pieces is much more about who the guys you've got. Regardless of their set piece coach, Arsenal have lots of huge guys who are really good in the air. Gabriel, Saliba, Havertz, Gyökeres, Marino. They have guys who are really big and will defend set pieces well no matter what. On the attacking side, you can use Pedro Neto as a screen, or you can use Cucurella as like a blocker. But like you can't like I cannot make Cucurella win the ball in the air over Gabriel. Like there's just and this is the thing we talked about. Like I did not enjoy some of the marking assignments from the Arsenal game, but we went through it, and at some point you get to a place where you're like, I have to have Andre Santos marking a guy who's just better in the air than him. I have to have Cucurella marking a guy who's just better in the air than him. Like eventually you get to that point. Now, I think there is legitimately coaching things you can do to make those players better at it, but there are limits to this. And so I think when you look at this season, the way Chelsea have defended set pieces, it is obvious there is room for improvement. But I think some of it is, I think more of it than people are willing to admit is the player side than the coaching side. So let's see. Am I seeing a 0 point? Let's see. Yeah, I don't remember this game. Madison in the 5th minute. I don't remember this game. And like GCAP says, it's a lot about the second balls. Totally agree, and that's like totally a player concentration issue. Like I don't know how you solve that. Elliot Sherman says, I know you weren't the biggest Carney fan, but I always thought it'd be useful to have a tall midfielder. Listen, I think a lot of people, not saying you are doing this, I think a lot of people have like misconstrued my opinion on height, which is like, because Seb and I have talked about this, and I have said being tall does not equal being good in the air. Like those are not the same thing to start with. The second half of this is that I'm not going to pick a tall player over another player who is better. Like if you have Enzo Fernandez and you have Scott McTominay is having a great time in Italy, but he's just like not at the same level as Enzo Fernandez. I'm going to pick Enzo, even though Scott McTominay is massive. But if I have two guys who are like vaguely the same level, even those guys, I want the unit. Of course I want the unit. One of the things I loved about Kai Havertz is like that guy was a monster physically. A monster physically. And yeah, and like Chaloba's tall, but one thing he's bad at is timing his jumps to head the ball. Yeah, like Chaloba, I think it is a weakness of his is dealing with aerials. George and Yangaya says like even the guys who theoretically should be good in the air, like Delap, don't have the attitude to compete. Delap falls asleep tracking runners all the time. To be honest though, like if we talk about some of the like set piece stuff that I don't like personally, I really don't I don't always like the where they put the zonals. I'm not gonna go away from this because we're gonna talk about this. But like the most common one is like they put Tosin here, and they often put a fullback here. They put Cucurella or they put or Hato there very frequently. I want Delap or Joao Pedro there. Joao Pedro is different because Joao Pedro is generally pretty good at marking, actually. He's like a very diligent marker on set pieces, which is very funny because when we went, if you go back and watch the Joao Pedro video, one of the things I say is like, oh, he's a really good set piece defender. Like that's a really useful skill to have. And he really is. But like if you have Delap, put Delap as the near post zone the way you used to put Drogba and Torres. Because they're not tracking anyone. But if you let them attack a ball at the near post, they'll jump and they'll go get it. And that is one that I'm like, I would rather them do it. We saw actually against Wrexham, they put Garnacho there, which I think is like a good place to put him. Like he's just gonna at the near post try and clear things away. And like, okay, he cleared one over here. But what are you going to do? Just joining, what do we think of Achimpong aerially? Achimpong is very tall, but his timing is really bad, right? Like he's physically very talented, but he is what it is. So what are you going to do? How do we solve this in the context of our squad and best 11, though? Sign a defensive midfielder who's also strong in the air to play alongside Caicedo. Or maybe if we move on from Cucurella. Yeah, I mean, maybe part of it is Cucurella. I think there are things you can do, like trying to put, like, to me, actually, I think with when Sanchez plays, doing the thing where you leave 3 guys high or 4 guys high works because you clear space for Sanchez to claim, and Sanchez is an excellent cross claimer, right? Like you prevent the meat wall, and Sanchez can go get it because he's massive. Um, very, very big guy, and he's very good at claiming crosses. So, like, that's an advantage. I don't know if that works so much against Jorgensen. I think in the context of our team, like, I think you just sort of live with, like, okay, like, try and be better about who your assignments are. Like, don't leave don't leave Garnacho and Delap as the back post markers. Like, don't ever play Tosin. Like, blah 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 blah. Tosin doesn't jump. This is the thing. This is why Tosin is not good in the air. Tosin is 6'7", but he couldn't jump over a credit card. So, like, he doesn't win anything in the air because of that. Julian Castillo says, "Oh, the days when we had Ballack, Essien, Makalele, and Lampard." I mean, Lampard was not that good in the air. Ballack really was, but Essien and Makalele were nothing in the air. The reason that team was good was, like, their back four was 4 units, like, all good in the air. And then you had Ballack, you had Drogba, and you had a very tall goalkeeper. Like, it worked. George and Young Guy, this is a good question because I want to talk about this. How do you combat a team leaving 4 on the halfway line? We got picked apart for it by Villa. The way you combat a team leaving 4 on the halfway line is you leave 2 guys back and you say, we will risk you going 4v2 and we're just going to score the corner. That's how you combat it. You play a short corner. Like, if you want to get at the team that puts 4 players high, you just don't send players back. And you say, okay, we will now score the goal because we are 2 players high. We're 2 players up. And instead, in my opinion, what I think you do is you run short corners then. So, like, if you imagine like, whatever, let's just put Palmer on the ball. Actually, it would definitely be Neto. But, like, you set up a corner like this. Okay? So let's say they defend something like this. So, whatever. Joao Pedro's in for the meat wall. James is, like, here probably. Fofana's in there. Chaloba's in there. Cucurella is probably the guy back with Caicedo. You have Enzo in there. You have something like this, right? And they're like, okay, we're going to do this. 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 And you get to a point where you're like, yeah, I mean, okay, like, let me bring this guy too. Like, okay, if this is what you're going to do, we are 4v3 in the middle of your box. We're 4v3 in the middle of your box. And, like, maybe they bring this here. And then, like, okay, you can play the short. And, like, we're going to smash you 4v2 here, which means you're going to have to bring another guy. And if you bring another guy, like, oh, all of a sudden it becomes very easy for us to, like, free a player up back here or something like that. So I think, like, to me, I would just be like, I dare you to give us 2 up in your box right now. And as long as you set up the set piece, that, like, the one thing that can't happen, right? Like, the only thing you need to avoid is the keeper can't claim the cross. That's why I'm like, okay, you don't want to do the meat wall here because, like, being numbers up in the meat wall doesn't really help. Like, you just want guys in the meat wall. So this is where I think you run a short corner. And, like, guess what? You play the short. This guy is now running back because he's like, well, fuck, what do I do? And all of a sudden, like, you can do whatever you want to the back post, and you can set all sorts of, and, like, you want to talk about this. because your numbers up in the box, you can run pick plays with free guys. So like if you imagine, let's say Chelsea don't run the meat wall. They just have like guys regularly marking, right? So they have like two zonals and they have like whatever, and they have like these two guys marking. This is how they set it up. You can imagine the situation now where like, okay, they're going to come mark both of these guys. And so what happens is like you set up, here's your four guys doing your thing, right? Two zonals, two markers, because maybe this is how they do. And now all of a sudden, you go play the short and like whatever, just bounce it back. Like part of why you do the thing is you just have gusto here to keep this player deep. But now you go like, oh, okay, like Fofana, you are going to pin in him, and Enzo, you're going to pin in him, and we're going to go like this. And this is going to drag everyone here, and Joao Pedro is going to be totally free. So like the whole point of this is if you get extra players, you can like set amazing screens for guys. You can do all sorts of things. And so when I say like teams would leave 4 high, I would say, I dare you to, we'll score the corner. And Dom says, to be fair, the worst counter we conceded against Villa was us doing this exact thing. James passed it right to them on the short corner, and they were off. Yeah, because Chelsea, one of the things I have heard is that the short corners are not a thing Chelsea are trying to do. It's a thing the players are choosing to do. If you have like very deliberate setups off of short corners, I'm in. But that's part of this, right? Is like you are trying to free up movement for your plus advantage. So we spent a lot of time talking about set pieces, which I think Chelsea are going to have a huge advantage against PSG on. Now, let me fix all the guys again. Well, whatever. We're not really talking about that right now. So that's kind of where I'm at. We were, however, watching PSG Strasbourg. That's what we were doing. And going through. Yeah, Panicelli. Actually, somebody said Panicelli hasn't scored in a while. Let's see. He's got 14. That's a lot of goals. Ooh, yeah. A lot of PKs in there. He's got 2 non-penalty goals in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oof. Oof. Aside from aerial skill, is set piece grappling, fisticuffs a discernible skill? I don't know if it's something you can detect in the data, but I think it's certainly something you can see. Like somebody mentioned, I feel like Enzo Fernandez does a good job. I totally agree with that. I think Enzo Fernandez is like amazing at like just wrestling guys on set pieces, and like, no, you're not getting to the spot you want to. This is the stuff that I think is particularly interesting, is like how aggressive do Chelsea get when they push all their numbers forward to press. Like how nasty are they going to get with it? So let's see. Barco scoop chip passes elite. Gusto is going to be on Mendes like we did against Barcelona. We lose any duel and they score. I don't know. I like reductive take, but ultimately the tie is going to come down to like who plays better between Palmer, Enzo, Caicedo, Joao Pedro, and Barcola or whatever. Dembele, Barcola, Kvara, Vitinha, Genève, so on. Like, it's going to come down to who plays better between the team's best players. Like, when we played them in the Club World Cup, Cole Palmer went off. And Joao Pedro had a very good game. And, like, that's the game. But also, like, Dembele missed a sitter. So this is actually a good conversation. Adam Regan says, "Do you think Joao Pedro's form is sustainable?" Roshan says, "One thing to be on a heater, but Racine legit has him doing striker things. He didn't score tap-ins, made constant runs off the shoulder. Brighton, Nimedes Felice says, interesting discussion made online about Joao Pedro versus Ekitike. I feel like Ekitike has a higher ceiling, but I have no idea why I think that, because Joao does something so much better. Yeah, so I think Ted Knutson posted where did it go? Yeah, he posted about Joao Pedro this week. And he said, he's running hot, but I did not think he could score goals at this rate. Chelsea took a risk last summer, and it feels like they got that one right, or it looks like they got that one right. So this is StatsBomb data, which is like the highest quality data in the industry. They have like extremely reliable data recording. So what do we have? We have pretty good XG, right? On pretty low shot volume. That is trending very much up in the last, I mean, let's call it the Racine era. Like, if you look at shot volume, there's a whole lot of just like no shot games at the beginning of the season. And then you've got 1, 5, 4, 3, 7, 2. Like there's a lot more there. There's a lot more there. So if you go from Racine on, it's like 2, 2, 4, 8 and 3 games. It's a cup game, doesn't count. 1.5, so that's 2. That's 10 and 4 games. That's 12 and 5 games. That's 19 and 6 games. 22 and 7. 26 and 8. 31 and 9. So he's like north of 3 shots a game, which is a huge difference. And if we go back, like 3 shots a game puts you here, right? Like that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And then you add like he's finishing a little hot, which is what shot OBV is. He's creating good chances for others. He does an ass load of pressing. He's carrying the ball when he wins it, right? Dribble and carry OBV looks really good. And his XG per shot is high. This is a really good stat profile. Like this is, I think, the A+ version of what you hoped you were going to get this summer. If you go back and look at what we said in the summer was like, I think he's pretty good, but I think he's going to be like a depth attacker who does a lot of things for this team. And the numbers look really good. And like this to me, if we go back and look at, again, what I said in the summer, is like there was a lot of fat in the summer. I wonder if I have it still. Oh, there's nothing. Let's see what I had in here. Inconsistent shot output, down year in 2023-24. Yeah, this was like, I didn't like all this. I didn't like all of that. A lot of block shots and just a lot of not good. Creates a lot of value as a passer. Blah, 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 blah. What else did I say in here? And pick up bookings beyond what is necessary. Well, that sort of happened, didn't it? Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that has ended up very nice is like his shot volume has improved, but more like where the shots are coming from. Like I think somebody said, he's doing legit striker things, like 1, 2, 3. Like look at all these like dark red and in the 6-yard box. Like this is awesome. You just want so much of this. And that to me is really valuable. Now, do I think he's going to score? Is he going to be a career 15 to 20 goal scorer season every single season? No, probably not. But maybe he is. Maybe Racine is like the striker whisperer. I don't know. In relation to Ekitike, though, like I think Ekitike is a better shot getter than him. And there's some useful stuff there. Like The number for Ekitike just got way too high for me. But I don't know. I've also said I would probably have done it anyway, so hard to say. With the current Pedro heater, do you think a front four of Pedro, Palmer, Garnacho, Estevao is enough? Who would be the profile you'd be looking to add to this group going forward? No, I don't think it's enough. I think you need another legit 9 because he's still somewhat streaky. Like you're not gonna get all of that. The other is like I don't think you can really play that group together without a tweak of the midfield or fullback profiles behind them. Or Palmer being significantly more fit, which is a different conversation. In terms of profiles, like I think I've been fairly consistent. The two things that I think this attack are needing is like a bagman striker who you play against weaker teams that does not contribute as much to play. He just like I get shots in the box all the time. That's one. And then the other is yeah, 3.15 shots per 90 since whenever Dimitri posted this. And then I think that the second half of this is like you need a legit winger off of the left. And I think that's Barcola. And Garnacho's like your sub guy, but I don't think Chelsea are going to be able to do the moves to do that second deal. So we'll see. How much can we sell Delap for this summer? Probably close to what you paid for. Let's go back here. Oh yeah, Panicelli's celebrating. Like this, one of the things that I've not enjoyed about the Rosenior era is like we are very open in transition a lot. Even the Villa game where we were very good in the second half and we were like, well, we were pretty good in general. Just so open in transition. And I worry about that against PSG. Oof. That goal, that set piece happens on Tosin, I'll tell you that. Ooh, brutal. I don't know. We'll see. Just get NDI. No, I don't. I'm not into that. Football Varo says I would play Hato and Cucurella. I don't really know how that works, but unless you're gonna play Hato at left center back, which I would not do, but sure. Yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at on PSG. Like I would lean towards the fuck off, really? How? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Temporarily blocked. All right, I think we're back. Somebody confirm we're back. Because I stopped showing the thing I'm supposed to not show. Somebody confirm whether I am back or not. We back. All right, we're back. Nice. Okay, so I learned you can just stop showing it and wait like 2 minutes and it goes away. All right. So hold on. Now do I go back? Do I open it again? Yeah, okay, so we're not going to do that. All right, what other random things have come up? Spurs are interested in Paul Winstanley. Please take him. That's number 1. Do I think Paul Winstanley, Lawrence and Joe Shields have locked Dave Fallows in a closet somewhere? That's a good question. We really have not heard much about what Dave Fallows has been doing since he joined Chelsea. He joined in November. What if I like just put it in the past month? Okay. We're apparently interested in Morgan Rogers. Water is wet. It makes me so sad. We're gonna spend so much money on them, and I hate on him, and I hate it. I don't know. Like none of these things are from a month ago. In the past month, so I don't know. I don't know what Dave Fallows is up to. Do I think Spurs are going down? So like my model still thinks Spurs are great because it really likes all their players, which is really funny. But I think it's unlikely. However, if you look at like, I don't know, the prediction markets are starting to get real spooky. They're starting to get real. Like, who do Tottenham play? Who do Tottenham have left? Where are you? Where are you? And I'm so sorry. We play Tottenham, right? Where are they? There they are. We play Tottenham. We also play them in a friendly. I didn't know that. God, that's so much red. It's Liverpool, Forest, Sunderland, Brighton. Well, like they should be fine. Villa, Leeds, Chelsea. I don't know. I don't think they go down, but like it would be if we listen. If we relegated Spurs in game week 37, oh my God. Can you imagine? Listen, sometimes I'm like, oh, you know, like, no, you don't want to see your rivals go down because like you don't want to see your rivals go down because like you want to play them. Like that's part of the fun. If West Ham and or Spurs got relegated, I would dance on their grave. I would love it so much. Watch along for the Spurs game. No, I want us to win. And every time I watch along, we lose. I don't think they'll go down though. Like you look at like some of these games are like they're so unlucky, like insane red cards and like just a generational injury crisis year to year to year and like very unfortunate. I don't think they'll go down. I really don't. But you never know. You never know. Also, you know it's hilarious to me like everybody at Spurs hates Daniel Levy and like all their fans are like this is Daniel Levy's fault. If they go down, the only reason they won't immediately like do a Leeds in 2004 is because Daniel Levy put relegation clauses in every single contract he signed, which is going to save them financially if they go down. So I don't know. Do I think they'll get anything against Atleti? Maybe. They're like again, I don't think they're a terrible team. Like, it's very strange. Um, Arsenal bottling. Arsenal bottling the league would be fun. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be very fun. Give me like what's Arsenal's schedule? Who do they have? Like this is just like wish casting, but like Arsenal lose to West Ham game week 36 to put Spurs to bottle the league and to put Spurs on the precipice, and that we execute on Spurs. That would be pretty funny. No, I think Arsenal the league is done. Unless they lose to City. Like they'd have to lose like both City and Newcastle, I think, which is just gonna be hard. And Newcastle have like such a murderer's row schedule wise. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know the win for Chelsea was pretty big against Villa. That's what I do know. I do know. Spurs going down feels more likely than Arsenal bottling. That's a good question. Let's see. So Tottenham going down is like 11-4. And then City to win the league is 7-2. So yeah, Arsenal not winning the league is slightly less probable than Spurs going down. What position Villa end up in? I hope 6th. I want them to be bankrupt. I want them to be bankrupt. We'll see. I don't know. I don't have that much else to talk about. Like, I think Chelsea are just going to play how we all think they're going to play against PSG, and like, I until we see that, and we see what things PSG learned from the summer, I don't know what to say. We'll see. Do I see Villa winning the Europa League? I don't know. That's a good. It's a good question. Ooh, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Europa League winners odds. Let's see. Europa League winning odds. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the betting markets think it's them, but not nearly as much as it thought we would win Conference League, for example. Which is not shocking, but. Forest and Spurs get relegated, win the Europa League and Champions League. A piece is what about the top 5 analogy of the guy climbing the tower and ringing the bell? How close was he to ringing it? After we lost to Arsenal, he was ringing it. Like he was hitting it. Like just hitting the bell so hard. But then we won Villa and he like stopped and he's like looking around. Like, you know when like it's like detected, but then you like go back into the grass and like it's like the bar is coming back down. That's where we're at right now. You're like Ezio is like in the grass and they're looking around for you and the guy is at the top. Like if you get detected again, like the reinforcements are coming. But like you maybe dodged a bullet. You maybe dodged a bullet. That's where we're at right now with the Assassin's Creed metaphor. Yeah, I don't know. What else. What else do we want to talk about? I don't have anything else. You guys are driving the ship now. Where are we going? We're gonna go for half an hour. We're gonna go until we hit 2 hours. So you tell me. You tell me what when we're hitting the. I don't know. I was gonna say when we're hitting the iceberg, but hopefully there's no iceberg. I like Twitter sucks. Yeah, the podcast Twitter's back. It's just Stafford Bridge now. Brian's, do you play Football Manager? I do. I finally finished my first season of FM26. And and I won the league, and I won the Champions League, and I won the Carabao Cup, but I lost the FA Cup final to Spurs. So I won a treble. Here, why don't I just open it? Nope, that's the wrong one. I just opened Football Manager 24 by accident. Let me just open it. Why not? Okay, it's on the wrong window, so you can't see that. So I'm gonna have to move it over. I gotta change it to windowed so you can see it. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. And I'm going to show you my team and we can talk about it. Hurry up. Hurry up. I can't wait for my stream to crash because my laptop doesn't want to stream and show Football Manager at the same time. All right, preferences. How do I go to windowed mode? Windowed, confirm. All right. You are going to go here. All right. Can we see? We can see it now. All right. Let's just load it up. What is Kinetic and why has it taken over the club? Kinetic is the academy that Joe Shields founded, and because Joe Shields is the director, he has brought in all of his boys. Who should be United's next manager? They should just give it to Michael Carrick and put the structure in to make the team good. Am I the only one who thinks Josh is the right center back long term? No, I also think that. Jadon Sancho back on a free this summer? Yes or no? No. Predict the other Champions League games? No. Is Coyote in play this summer? I don't think so. Thoughts on when Stanley to Spurs noise? Why would they look at him? I think he is still a reasonably well respected dude. In quote unquote in the industry. I think there's a lot of Chelsea-ness to it all. And I could imagine in other contexts without our dear friend Bedat Igbali that he would be fun. He would be fine, rather. Repanicelli. If he turns out to be better than Amiga, guess which team will win the race for him? Hopefully us. Elamis, can't remember you watch F1 at all. I do. I didn't watch the race last night because I had something going on. But the new regs are a bit of a disaster. So what are you going to do? Who do I think will get in the FA Cup? One of the other 7 teams remaining. All right. So here's my team. Here's my team. I gotta be honest, don't enjoy. No, but I gotta go to last year. I want to go to last year and see how good they were. Does anyone know how I can look at last year's stats for my team? That's what I want to know. They are trying to build a new stadium, but I don't think it's gonna happen in here. Let's just whatever. Let's go back in here. So I'm not gonna lie to you. The first time I play, the first season I play, I just steal tactics from the internet. It so happens that the tactics are reasonably similar to how Rossinier plays. This one is a weird, it's a false 90 thing, but then it defends as a back 5. But I just stole it from the internet. The first time I play it, I'm not doing all the tactics things. Somebody said you got to hire more coaches. Yeah, I have room. A bunch of guys retired, and I haven't addressed it yet. As you can see, it is June 28th. Okay, how do I see all my transfers that I've done? Transfer activity. No. I want to see my transfers. This is the thing. You can tell I don't play because I'm like, I don't know all the deals. Okay, so this is what I did all of last year. I signed Barcola this summer, so after the first season. Joao Pedro came in, all those guys are there. That's whatever. All those guys were there already. I added Hayden Hackney from Middlesbrough because I wanted another midfielder. He didn't really play very much. Like, oh, I guess I can't see his historical stats. I don't know. Yeah, he didn't really play. I guess he played 30 games in all comps, but like he was a sub. He didn't play that much. I also signed. Who else did I get? No. I also signed this guy Ivan Roman because I don't know, my scouts liked him and he was like a good young center back. And then outgoing, Madueke, Joao Felix. I sold Disasi to Arsenal. I don't know why Arsenal wanted him, but they wanted him. These guys are all the same guys. It was very hard to get guys to go out. I did a bunch of loans. Not much else going on there. And then this year, I don't know. I sold Tosin, but I can't remember to where. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't done that much. The team is just the team. I just kind of like left the guys. Willie Caballero was my assistant, and he left. He like got hired by Southampton. But yeah, that's my team. I have not really done anything yet, so it's not super fun. But that's my team. I just bought Barcola and basically nobody else. And it feels very difficult to sell players in this game. Like nobody wants to leave. Like I am trying so hard. Like if you go to my squad and like look at the guys that I'm trying to sell, come here. I want rid of Delap because Delap is so bad in this game. I'm trying to sell Hackney because I don't want him anymore. He was like squad depth and now I don't want him. Sterling will not leave. Like I cannot get rid of him. My favorite thing about Raheem Sterling. So first off, Football Manager doesn't let you register him. So I was like, oh, I don't want the bomb squad. I'm gonna register him into Sassy. And it's like, no, you're not allowed. And then I tried to buy him out, and there's an email from Bedad Bali that says like, oh no, you're not allowed to buy him out. It's too much money. And I'm like, huh, funny how that works. Yeah. So he's like just on my team and like I can't do anything with him. Who is interesting? Who's been fun? Shim is really good. Like he scored all the time when he played last year. 5 goals in 7 Premier League games, and he like destroyed the cups. Like he scored in every cup game. Palmer had a really good year. Joao Pedro had a really good year. Estevao and Garnacho are both cracked. Yeah, Garnacho won Young Player of the Year, 18 and 11 and 35. I have my agendas, I'm not gonna lie. Pedro Neto had a pretty good season, but it's like not good. Who else? Who else had fun? Yeah, Trev tore his ACL in training right before the Champions League final, like the week before. So that sucked. Mudryk is still suspended. I don't know until when. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Who else? Andre Santos sucks in game. Enzo Fernandez is just okay. For some reason, Caicedo's really bad in the game. Like he's just not that good. But yeah, that's I don't know. That's what I got. Sanchez played all my games, and I never played Jorgensen, and I also never put a goalkeeper on the bench. What else? Who else is interesting? I got an insane, like insanely good first youth intake. So I got like I got a bunch of really good guys. I got like a Canadian goalkeeper who's going to be the best Canadian player of all time. And then I got this guy, this Mark Hall guy, who is pretty interesting. He's Gibraltarian. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm like playing it very unseriously. because I don't know where everything is, and like I don't know how to play it like the old one. So it like doesn't work. No. You can close. So that's where my game is at. But I won the league. So what are you gonna do? I don't know, man. I don't know. Do we think we're gonna make Champions League? I don't know. I hope so. This is not a very entertaining podcast. I apologize. Some scheduling. I will have a podcast Wednesday night after PSG. There is a chance I will live stream that right after the game. There's a chance. It's not super likely, but there's a chance. There will be no stream or podcast next weekend because I got to go back to Canada next weekend after Newcastle. And then there will be is our PSG second leg on Tuesday or Wednesday? I am traveling, so that's at 4. I'll be on a plane during the second leg. I think I will be on a plane during the second leg. So I'll probably have a stream when a podcast when I get home. What time is my flight at? My flight's at 4:00, which is I will be. Yeah, I'll be on a plane, I guess. And I'm flying United, so Wi-Fi sucks ass. That sucks. All right, so I'll have a podcast that night, but there'll be nothing on the weekend. So we'll get 2 Champions League episodes and nothing about Newcastle. Who's my biggest surprise player that's succeeding this year on any team? Semenyo has been better at City than I thought he would be. Yeah, Semenyo has been better at City than I thought he would be. Like, I thought he'd scale up, but not that much. I asked about Ryan at Bournemouth. No, not Ryan, ain't Newry. Where are you? Player who has exceeding the most on any team. Yeah, that's like kind of interesting. Player who is exceeding the most. Let's sort some tables here. Minimum 500 minutes. Let's think. Wow, David Brooks is at 0.74 xG per 9. I used to be a big David Brooks guy. I liked him a lot. I mean, like, Joao Pedro is probably a pretty good answer. Like, he has been so much better than I could have hoped for. Sesko, I think, has been way better than I thought he would be. Way better. And it's a lot of, like, smashing teams as a sub, but, like, that's an okay place to be. Mateus Fernandez at West Ham is like pretty nifty. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring a bunch of goals for Leeds, very surprising. Voltamata has been worse. So, like, not exceeding, but worse than I expected. Igor Thiago is, like, decent, but it's a lot of penalties, so I'm not that interested. Noni has been way worse than I thought he would be for Arsenal. Way worse than I thought he would be. And admittedly, like, he's playing in suboptimal roles a lot of the time, but so much worse than I thought he'd be. I don't know. Yeah, probably like Sesko is probably the one who has exceeded my expectations the most. He's been legit useful for them. 8 goals in 1,390s, mostly as a sub. Like you're pretty happy with that as a year from him, I think. The biggest flop transfer has to be Isak because Isak did nothing and then broke his leg. So like has to be Isak. Verts has also been like not good. He's been better of late. Um, it's actually I wonder how he has what his numbers have ticked up to. Still only like point a little bit less than 0.5. Yeah, Isak is easily flop of the year, but Verts both have been not good. Um, hmm. Biggest pause? I don't know. Yeah, probably Sesko. And biggest flop I think has to be Isak. Yeah, I think that one's there's no question. I think this year has like the league has turned out tighter than I think people thought it would be, and I thought it would be. Like I thought Arsenal and City. I mean, I guess there is 17 points or 16 points between first and third. Um, I definitely did not predict 3 through 6 being this tight. Like if you asked me how I thought the season was going to go, I thought it would be like. I mean, actually, I wonder if I just have it in my Google Sheets still. No, no, because it'll be like August. No, I don't know. This is why you don't. I don't think it's in the sexy spreadsheet, but maybe it was points projection. Yeah. What do we have here? Yeah, like I thought there was a really big gap between the four best teams and everybody else. Um, yeah, I thought that was definitely less. Um, hmm, interesting. Uh, in previous street, Ios's Turkey, I thought Turkey's been about as good as I thought he'd be. I liked that move for City a lot. In previous streams, you were pretty sure we were the third best team in the league. Do you still think that? Um, I don't know if I thought we were third. Like I think very clearly my expectation for this year was like we would be comfortably in the top four and like Arsenal are definitely better than the other three. That was kind of where I've had it. Um, I think that's certainly less true than it was at the beginning of the season, and I think I feel that it's less true than it was at the beginning of the season. I think like Palmer not being very good this year has influenced that. I think Colwill was a bigger impact than I thought it would be. Um, though, and I think I probably underrated how helpful Jackson was to a lot of stuff. So like I don't know if you made me pick a points projection for Chelsea next season right now, assuming we have the window I think we're gonna have, not the window I want us to have. I mean, we'd we'd probably have something like I don't know. We'd probably have something like 69 points again, maybe, if you made me guess. I don't know. Something like that. That's probably where I'd put us right now. Um, as an MLS watcher, do you think our youth obsessed sporting director should try and buy Gozo, Julian Hall, Adrian Mehmeti, or one of the other teenagers who have been regular starters in MLS? Let's look at the tables. Do I think? Do I think we should buy any of those players? Gozo, no. Gozo's interesting, but no. Um, hmm. Julian Hall also probably no. And like the Red Bull guys are hard because the Red Bull guys are gonna go to Red Bull. Like that's just the move they're gonna make. Like they in the off season they go train with Leipzig. Like that happens every year. Um, so like both Mehmeti and Hall have already spent whole like a month training with Leipzig's first team. So I don't think those guys are the ones. Um, in yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these guys are right on the radar so far. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think who's like on the young side that could be interesting. Uh, Nashville looking really good. Do you see Sam Surridge taking another crack in England? No, I think like guys like that. They like he came. He's really good. He did like he's making low end Premier League money. Like why not? Nashville's cool. I'm trying to think who would be like. I think David Martinez. This guy's really good. I don't think he is Premier League or Chelsea good, but I can see him being like La Liga. Like if you told me he went to Girona, I'd believe you. Um, Seb Berhalter will go to the championship this year. That's one I think is interesting. Um, yeah, like no, there's not really any guys that I think are like the Red Bull kids are neat. There's a guy. There is a guy. His name is. I gotta find it because I'm gonna say it wrong, and I don't want to mess it up. His name is this guy, Nimfasha Berchimas. He is insane, but he's really only played youth minutes so far. Um, he was so good at the Youth World Cup. Um, and he is very good. Um, let's see. Let's see if I get got on this one. Probably not. This kid is like a superstar. The data loves him. Everything is super legit. Um, he's like left winger, scores goals, creates goals. Really good 1v1 dribbler, super shifty. Like he's very good. Um, to give you context on like the level for most of these clips, this is MLS Next Pro, which is like the reserve league for MLS, is pretty comparable to PL2. Like the difference is not huge. A couple years ago, a bunch of the PL2 teams came and did their preseason in the US and played, and like a lot of the games were even. Um, so I would say like it's maybe a little bit lower than PL2, but not by much. Um, and yeah, he is like stats darling, really interesting young player. This is a guy that like if you told me Chelsea bought him for $6 million tomorrow, I'd believe you. Um, yeah, like he's pretty nasty. Um, and he's like flashy in the way that like catches people's eyes. I don't think Chelsea would ever do anything for it. Um, but like kid can ball. Kid can ball, and he's very young. Like I think he's still 16. So we'll see. Yeah. Zing. Who else? Who else is interesting? I'm trying to think of the guys, but they're all like older. Like it's not. I don't know. I don't have any good names for you right now. off the rip. I mean, I'm sure some of them we've talked about. There's a Jamaican kid who plays for TFC's academy who's nasty as well, but he's again probably not a Chelsea level prospect. NYCFC U14s just beat a few Premier League teams a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we see this. This is a thing, right? Where the MLS academies, up until like 17, the MLS academies are as good as anybody in the world. Like they play at Dallas Cup, they play at the big youth tournaments, and they're as good as anybody. Like I'm pretty sure Chelsea lost to Inter Miami's academy, who are not that strong, in a tournament in Florida a few months ago. Like Reggie Watson played in it. Yeah, like there's not there's not like a huge gap. But then between 17 and 20, there is a huge gap. And it's like hard to figure out why. Mika Goltz, no. Lord Flacco says the Messi Cup. I've never seen this guy before. I don't watch a lot of Eredivisie. It's like not super accessible, and it's just not that interesting to me, unless there's like Chelsea loanees or something to watch. But it's just this feels very fake to me. I don't know. I'm not moved. I'm not moved through the first minute of this compilation. I am not moved. All right, give me other players. We got 10 minutes. Give me other players. I will watch any player you put to me on YouTube right now. We will watch your comp for any player you put to me for the last 10 minutes. Oof. Zing. Yeah, any player that gets put to me, I will watch. Mehmeti. Yeah. This guy said Socrates. We're watching 70s Brazil. Yeah, this was the MLS Next Pro Cup final last year. Somebody said Tosin. You're evil, bro. This is Mehmeti. But so to give context, this is the midfielder, number 77, that so he's playing, this is in the reserve league final last year, who's now playing for the first team, and he's like so gross. Like that's like he's for real as a passer, press evasion, wins the ball. Like he's real good. This is one that if you told me that Chelsea went and paid $5 million tomorrow, and we're like put him in the 21s right now, I'd be like, okay, sure, I'm cool with that. Pano Kier, what do you think is the reason why MLS talent just does not develop well enough after 16? I think one is that because all of the MLS teams are very rich, there is no pressure to like make kids make it that they have to sell to make money on. So that I think is like number one. So a lot of these kids like stay a year too long in the reserves, and like momentum is an important thing. The other is that the kids who do play, because there's no relegation, like I think there are like negative development externalities to it. Like you look at the kids who have hit, it's the kids who play for good teams, not the kids who play for bad teams. Like the ones who have been sold and developed well have played for good teams with stakes that matter, where like them messing up is important. And that I think is a big part of it. All right, let's go Keith Smith. All right. Keith Smith is getting a minute. The perfect talent. Keith Smith, the perfect talent. I will be honest, any Eredivisie player, like we're starting off at a very high bar for me to like. It's a pretty nice goal. I mean, that defender, I don't know what you're doing, but Ooh. I see the appeal. I see the appeal why people like him. Kid can pass. He definitely has some passing juice. He definitely has some passing juice. He probably doesn't have enough passing juice, but it's hard to say. This is he. You know who he feels to me though. He feels very Dewsbury Hall. Like you take this and you go put it against Premier League defenders, and like he's getting robbed in a lot of these. And like I know this is Palace here, but like a lot of these like cute nutmegs are like coming straight back down your throat for a transition the other way. Like that I'm. Ugh. Oh, that's me. That's funny. Socrates Tosin. What do you think a Tosin Adarabioyo comp looks like? Adarabioyo compilation. What do we think this looks like? Makes defending look fun. I'm so curious what a Tosin comp is going to look like. Yeah, block shot. Look at that. My defender. Look at that. Block shot. Block shot. Let's not ask about what happened to get to that situation. Blocked clearance. My defender. Look at this guy. Oh, block. Block. Where was this? Why does he get all the shots through his legs now? Where was this guy? This is a good compilation. He's just blocking everything. Well, that's a foul. Hold on. They just put a foul in a compilation. He makes defending look fun. This is him eating a yellow card. What are we talking about? Oi, what a tackle. Oi, massive. Yeah, look at that. Ball win. Here we go. Block shot. Interception. Elite. Elite. This is so funny. This is actually not a terrible comp. This is honestly not bad. You'd be like, oh, this guy's interesting. Look at that. Composure. Maldini said you don't have to make a tackle if you know where to stand. Nearly. I thought for sure he was going to give that away. Interception. Don't ask why in so many of these he's sprinting towards his own goal, by the way. Joga. Look at that clearance into a first time pass. Thiago Silva. Look at this. Here we go. Here we go. Jogador. Hold. What is this clip? This is him getting rinsed by Jared Bowen and taking a yellow card. Look at this clip. Rolled. Terrible roll. Eats a foul. How is this in a compilation? Okay, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Kevin Shada, no. I don't really care about watching Kevin Shada or Socrates. Mandela Keita. Is this the guy at Parma? Welcome to Galatasaray. That's always a good start. That's a good start. That's a good start. I haven't seen this guy. Ooh, that's a fun pass. I'm a simple man. I see a line breaker and I'm into it. I have not seen any data for this guy. To be clear. What are we twerking with? What are we twerking with? It's a lot of youth team video though. Oof. Oof. Parma are admittedly terrible. Admittedly terrible. If this was like the Asugo buy, sure. But no. No. Excluded. Johan Manzami. I'm not gonna watch Elliot Anderson because we're gonna get got by PL clips. And like everybody here's watched Anderson. Some of these guys, like I haven't seen most of these guys before. Oh, this is the guy of Freiburg. Yeah, I liked this guy's data. We talked about this. But it was just there weren't enough minutes, right? I think was the thing we got to. That he had nice data, but there were no minutes. Okay. He seems very like advanced for a midfielder. This does not feel very center midfielder coded to me. This feels like winger 10 coded to me. I don't like how he passes the ball. Like purely aesthetically, I don't like how he passes the ball. He's like a little too dribbly for me. Like it's not the profile I want. But it's interesting. He's very advanced, eh? Very far forward. It's a good goal. Yeah, I don't. This is not my favorite. Oh, that's Geodis Park in Nashville. Oh, this is against the U.S. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Curious. Who we got next? Mamadou Sangare. Mamadou Sangare. The bargain of the season. RC Lons. Salzburg, Rapid. Similar players, Kamavinga, Baliba, Koulibaly. I wonder why, even though some of those guys are not at all similar. Weaknesses, overly aggressive. This is like an exercise in racial profiling. All right, let's see what we got. Loans have been really good this year, though. So, like, we love a midfielder who does step overs through the middle of the pitch. It's always fun. It's a very good pass. Okay. Ooh. Okay. It's a lot of recovery defending, but like that's all right. It's better to recover than to not recover. I'm very confused by this guy. I like don't really know what he is. Yeah, I'm very confused by this guy. Mamadou Sangare. I don't know. What do we think, chat? Do we like Mamadou Sangare? I'm kind of curious, though. I'm going to bet you he's got pretty monster ball winning stats just off that video. Yup. Dribbles and tackles, and he moves it forward a little bit. That would get nuked in the Premier League, though. I would be curious. I'd be curious. I'll give him another 30 seconds. There's like not quite enough passing, and like I want my ball winning to skew more interception than tackle, but certainly not the worst midfielder we've ever watched. Gassim Yassin. I don't recognize this name. Is this the Strasbourg kid? The new one? Yes, it is. Ew, what is this? Is he getting first team minutes though? Nice finish. I wonder if part of why they were like, yeah, Kendry Pais, get out of here, is they wanted to play this kid. That because he feels very he feels like that, right? He feels like that archetype. Does he have a lot of minutes? Like, I don't know this. I've never seen this kid before. Gassim Yassin FB Ref. Oh. What do we got here for you, Mr. All Counts? He was on loan at Dunkirk. I think Seb told me they're sketchy ones, but I can't remember. Huh. 2 goals, 6 assists. Interesting. Put him on the list to take a look at. Mandela Keita, we saw already. Sangare, we saw. Have I covered who I want to start versus PSG, Hato or Cucurella? I'm ambivalent, but I lean Cucurella. Alex Forsyth, are Tron FC going to suck this year? You bet, buddy. Konstantinos Karetas, now that Pais is toast. Oops. Oh, you go here. Why are you not erasing? Karetas. Let's watch just for Pano. We got to get some Greek. We got to get some tzatziki on here. We got to get some cucumber salad, some tzatziki. Actually, hold on. Hold on. I'll be back. Give me 1 second. I have something just for Pano. Just for Pano footy, we got some tzatziki on it. So that's what we got with this comp. We got the tzatziki on the Karetzis comp. Yes, I just went to my fridge to grab a tub of tzatziki. Is this Pano, is this the guy in Belgium, or is this the guy? Yeah, this is the guy in Belgium, right? Taking 9 shots a game. Yeah, I would take 9 shots a game too if I had a left foot like that. My God. He does. I would bet you though, like if he was to go like to the Premier League, for example, he would lack the athleticism, is my guess. Like he would be not quite quick enough. He feels like a guy who's like going to go to Italy and score 9 goals a season. Kid zings a ball though. That's fun. Wait, is he the one at who's the one at Brighton? Is that Zolis? Who's the Greek guy at Brighton? Kostoulas is the Brighton one. And then Christos Zolis, right, is the other one. But he's also in Belgium. And he's older. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm settling in. A second free kick has hit the Tosin comp is crazy. Dominic Mum, how would you handle a Sugo Lavia center mid situation next year? Since we're doing 3 center mid full time, what profile should we look at? Feel as though the team lacks an ends alternative, unlike Moy. Yeah, the guy that I have pretty regularly flagged is a guy named Petar Sucic at Inter Milan. I think he is like a really, really, really good, like, I think Modric is like the comp that I want for him. He's light on ball winning, but a lot of it's his role. Really good passer from midfield. Really, really, really good passer from midfield. We've watched Sucic on here before, but I think he's like so nasty. Yeah, but it's all pre-Inter, like it's all his Zagreb stuff, which I'm like, I don't really care about. Christ Inau Ulai. I've never heard of this name before. At Trabzonspor. Cool name. And it would be cool to yell like Jesus Christ or something if he scores. I don't know what are we talking here? Midfielder, attacker? I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. I already hate him. I already hate him. I already hate him. We're one clip in and I hate him already. Great little drop of the shoulder. Dribble here. You can't see my dribble here. Why would you beat this guy here? Just dribble right there. You can drive the Titanic between these players. He's not even trying to stop you dribbling there. And then you take another guy on to go back to your goalkeeper. Why? I already hate him. I already hate him. Watch, he's now going to just dribble towards the sideline instead of going forward. Oh, okay, good. That's a good pass. I don't like him already. He's also very small. I don't like it already. He's going to have to do a lot in the next 30 seconds of this comp to earn another 30 seconds because I'm out. No, bad pass, giveaway. I'm out. You lost. I hit the red button on X Factor. You're out. Luka Vuskovic. Spurs own him already, and he's very good. Musa Diaby links. We have Musa Diaby links? I certainly hope not. Can we coin curious as a term? I'm in. Akliush. Akliush is interesting. Sometimes I just be hating on our own players. Absolutely. Promise David is fun, but I agree is not a Chelsea level. Promise David is great. But he also just like he tore the tendon that connects your quad with your hip. So he's not going anywhere anytime soon. But I really like Promise David. He's just I don't think he's like quite Chelsea. I would have if you made me guess, I would have had him pegged for like Coventry would have bought him this summer if he didn't get hurt. That's what I had him at. He's like just a big guy who like does value. He crashes the near post. He scores goals. He ragdolls center backs. Like he's not that good, but he's like a big, strong guy, and he scores enough goals. Like there is nothing special about his game. Like he just does like really valuable things a lot. I was at that game. Actually, I was not at that game. That's not the game that I thought it was. Yeah, he scored a lot for Canada. No, I like Promise David a lot. He's a good player. Good player, but like probably not Chelsea level. This is against Ukraine in like a weird tournament. Jesus Rodriguez Como comp. Rodriguez Como. The Cat is also in Belgium. Matias Fernandes Pardo. No. I want to see his Como stuff. Oh, I wonder actually if this is all pre-Como. That's a crazy sentence. Interesting. I like guys who arrive in the box like this. I'll say that. And he's like decently, like, can ride a challenge a little bit. Oh, that's from the Conference League final. I'm sure the name Jesus Rodriguez totally won't. Hey, I guess it is only going to bring up one player. I was going to say totally won't bring up multiple players. Less interesting to me. Less interesting to me. I want to see if there's got to be a Petar Sucic compilation. There has to be one, right? How is there not? I want one like from Inter. But I want one more recent. There's not. Like it makes me sad. All right. I think we're going to call it there. We went through all the players on the list. Let's see how PSG goes, my friends. Let's see. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And my goodness. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and you'll see me on a pod, not a stream, on Wednesday. And we'll go from there. Hopefully we beat PSG. As always, my friends, enjoy the soccer.